issues related to raising awareness on food safety following those claims of illicit and expired food being sold, more specifically at spaza shops. Law enforcement agencies and various departments have carried out compliance inspections across the country to remove these products from the local stores following the deaths of more than 20 children in Gauteng alone. Last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa made the call that all spaza shops must be registered with their municipalities within 21 days of his announcement. Let's unpack this. Bring in now the National Consumer Commission's Acting Commissioner, Hardin, Ratshisusu, who joins us now via our video link. I hope I got your surname right, sir. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us. Issues to do with identifying whether or not food is fake is something that certainly isn't top of mind for many people. And I wonder what the Commission's approach to this is, because we live in a country where, of course, many people might take the law into their own hands, and that might precipitate other crises.
No, good morning, and thank you very much for the invitation. Indeed, as you have said, the President has made this announcement last week, Friday, that given the crisis that we now find ourselves in, it's quite important that all laws are applied and all laws are enforced in a manner that will ensure that we contain this crisis. So from the National Consumer Commission perspective, we apply the Consumer Protection Act, and this act prohibits suppliers or businesses to sell goods that are unsafe to consumers, and that is covered in Section 55. We also have Section 58 that says if you are selling hazardous goods, they have to be marked as such. So you cannot just be selling things that consumers will never know what those products are.
From the work that you've been able to do, how widespread is this issue related to counterfeit food? I mean, we can kind of tell anecdotally from our reporters visiting certain communities, but I wonder if the Commission has, consolidated data around typically how prevalent the problem is.
What the National Consumer Commission has been doing since the beginning of the year, so we have had operations in a number of provinces. The Free State, Limpopo, Western Cape, Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, and just recently and this week, KwaZulu-Natal. And each time we go to these places, each time we conduct these inspections, and I must say these are multidisciplinary inspections with various other authorities, Department of Health, environmental health practitioners, local municipalities, as well as the police and other departments. What we are finding each time we go out, we find instances of non-compliance. I cannot say to you that we have documented the entire or visited the entire retailer population in the country, but each time we visit, 9 out of 10 times, we are finding levels of non-compliance.
And of course, the obvious question is what the Commission reckons it'll take to fix that. I know in the past, the Labour Department has always admitted that, frankly, we don't have enough inspectors in order to keep a handle over the situation.
What we will do, and you can see that with this approach now, as announced by the President, that this is a multidisciplinary kind of approach that's required. It's not for one regulator, it's not for one entity. So we jointly have to tackle this. And as the National Consumer Commission, we are part of these operations. And when we all put together our resources, we are able to target and look at a significant number of these spaza shops. You might have seen recently we went to Naledi, led by the Department of Health. We were able to inspect 84 spaza shops in a matter of a few days. Again, one entity cannot be able to do that kind of feat, but when we work together, this is what we will do, and this is what I think we will get to the bottom of this. And address the scourge that we're finding ourselves in.
This moment, of course, also allows us to raise awareness about what consumers should be looking out for. You did speak briefly about labeling and, the minimum expectations that suppliers should meet in order to be able to sell their products. When it comes to just getting a sense of whether or not a good is a legitimate, genuine brand, for argument's sake, and a counterfeit, what should people be looking out for?
Well, I think what's important is that products, of course, have to be properly marked. That way, it allows consumers to know what those products are. So there are a lot of markings that are there, what this brand is, who made it, where has it been produced. But this is not it's not an easy exercise for consumers. I can tell you now, we've been dealing with an issue of mineral water that we picked up in social media. It's not easy. It's a large company that's producing the mineral water, but with the barcodes that are there, it is not easy for consumers to discern whether that product is a genuine product or not. And we are engaging with suppliers, particularly these large suppliers, to also raise awareness about how consumers should identify their products. You have seen recently also with the pilchards, there's a whole story out there around pilchards. We are following up on that, because how can consumers know that a properly marked pilchard is probably not a legitimate product? I think it's a very, very difficult exercise for consumers, and we also call upon suppliers, particularly major suppliers, to also embark on education campaigns to keep our consumers informed.
Yeah, absolutely. Pilchards, bread, sodas, the list really goes on and on. It really has been quite startling watching what seems to be an emerging trend when it comes to these counterfeit goods. But hopefully we'll be able to turn the tide sooner than later. The National Consumer Commission's acting commissioner there is Hardin Ratshisusu. Once again, thanks very much indeed for your time.